Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Brian Rubin, and I'm so delighted to welcome you to this our class at this moment, wherever you are watching. I want to welcome you, and we are going to be continuing on this series, the the most important, the starting point of all business success. If you want to be successful in business, and that can extend to your career or your personal life, this is the most important thing you need to understand. This is the starting point of all business success. If you're gonna be successful in your business, this is where it starts because this controls everything. And it is quite interesting to realize that not many people really understand just how important it is. But you do, and that's why you're watching right now. And I can see that this is going to really change everything about your business. See, as I always say, one thing you want to understand is that success, right? Performance is always a dependent variable. It is always a result of making the right choices and making those choices consistently. Never forget that. So it's very important that you realize that this is how business works. So we began this series by saying that making a compelling value proposition is the starting point of all business success. That's where it starts. When you make a compelling value proposition that guides your choices, that guides your decision. But to make a compelling value proposition, you already have to choose a segment. So your compelling value proposition is always addressed to a segment, all right, that you want to serve. So we said you have a value that is compelling and made for a segment when you're able to match your customer profile with your value map. Once you do that, you have what is called a value fit. That means a value that is fit for a particular segment. And because it's a value meant for them, the response always will be positive because people are always looking for value. You want to understand that people are looking for value. So we say that that's very, very important. And I explain to you all the time that your customer profile is actually, it describes a specific customer segment in your business model in a more structured and detailed way. You see, your customer profile describes a specific customer segment in your business model in a more detailed and structured way. It breaks the customer down into jobs, pains, and gains. We explained all of that in the um, past session of this conversation, and you may do well to refer back to that if you're not very clear on that. But today, I did promise that we'll be giving more attention to customer profiles. And customer profiles really describes a particular segment in a more structured and detailed way. And we say it breaks down a customer segment into jobs and gains and pains. So today we started looking at the customer job. When we say customer jobs, what are we talking about? Well, the customer job describes the things your customers are trying to get done in their work or in their life, the problems they're trying to solve, what they're trying to get done, and that could include it could include fixing a tap, mowing a lawn, and all of that can include whatever they're trying to do in their personal life or their professional life. That's very important. Once you understand that, it set the stage for every other thing. So we can try to actually distinguish the various kinds of jobs that people do, because there are different kinds of jobs. And I said, remember, I said customer just describes those things your customers, the customers you've chosen, are trying to get done in their personal or work life, the problems they're trying to solve, whatever those problems could be. It could be to wash a dish. That's a problem. That's something they want to get done. All right. It could be to fill a form. All right. It could be to apply for a grant. That's something they're trying to do. So that's what you call customer jobs. Now you have four. This customer jobs is divided into four. You know, so you have four different types of jobs that people do that we can identify. The first one is what you call functional jobs. Now, functional jobs is when your customers try to perform or complete a specific task or solve a specific problem. They are trying to perform or solve a specific task or solve a specific problem. For example, it could be to write a report, right? Or it could be to help clients, whatever it is they're trying to do, all right? Whatever they're trying to get done, all right, is called a functional job. But that's not all. It could be to fix a car, right? That's a functional job. And then you have social jobs. Totally, there are four different types of customer jobs. Remember, we are dealing with customer profile, and we say it breaks a segment that you're trying to serve into customer jobs, pains, and gains. So we're looking at customer jobs, and we say these are the things they're trying to get done in their personal or work life. And there are four of them. The first is functional job. A functional job includes those things your customers try to perform or complete, all right, in their work and or in their life, and that can include fixing a car, like I said, completing a report. That's a functional job. Now you have social jobs. And with social jobs, you want to look at the things customers um, are trying to do in terms of looking good or gaining power or status. Now, why is this important? In framing value proposition, you need to understand the people you want to frame a proposition for. All right. I said this is the starting point of all business success. Your ability to frame a compelling value. And for you to do that, to frame a compelling value that is not only that is designed specifically in alignment with the segment you want to serve, you need to understand that you need to profile the customers. And I say customer profile refers to the things, it breaks down a customer segment into jobs, gains, and pains that customers are seeking. Jobs refers to the thing they're trying to get done. Very important. I don't want to forget that. Things they're trying to get done. All right. So I said on the jobs, you have functional jobs. Then I say you have emotional jobs and social jobs rather. And social jobs are, of course, there's emotional jobs, but I'm dealing with social jobs right now. And they refer to when your customers want to look good or appear like professionals, when they want to gain status or power. These jobs describe how customers want to be perceived by others. You see, so for example, when someone wants to look trendy, all right, you're targeting certain segments, say millennials, and they want to look trendy, right? Okay, so you are looking at those segments, right? And that's called social jobs. Or imagine a customers who want to be perceived as professionals. So assuming you sell wigs for lawyers, that is in social jobs. It affects how they look. Right? Someone wants to appear like a professional. So you find out the things that the profession demands and you want to sell that or design a value that is consistent with that. That's their social jobs. But then you also have personal or emotional jobs. And here you're looking at when your customers seek a specific emotional state, such as feeling good or secure. So when you're selling security equipment, all right, things like a car tracker, for example, um, that's a perfect example of emotional or personal job. What about what about the seeking when they seek sake of mind, speak of peace of mind regarding their investment? All right, especially in the days of the section when customers don't even know who to trust. So they're seeking peace of mind regarding their investment, right? And so that's a personal job. It's an emotional job also, personal or emotional job. So you want to know which of their needs, which of the jobs am I focusing on? Which of the jobs am I trying to uh, do a preposition around? You see, the reason we're dealing with this is we said customer jobs. It describes a particular segment that you want to target in a more structured and detailed way. It's not enough to want to target African Americans living in Texas. No, that's not enough. You want to find out what problems are African Americans living in Texas trying to solve. What jobs are they trying to do? All right. And what are their pains? What gains are they seeking? So when you think about this, you can quickly understand the insufficiency of existing products and services. And that's where you intervene. You see, I always talk about business in terms of intervention. There is a problem, and you are bringing an intervention. You understand that? That's very important. The whole idea about business is creating value, of course, with an economic model. Remember, Peter Drucker said there are only two duties of the enterprise, and he said it is innovation and marketing. All right. So you innovate, you create solutions, and then you market. If you don't want to waste your resources trying to convince people, if you don't want to do a lot of hard, if you really want to outperform the market, this is where you start. It is in designing a proposition of value that is fit for the segment you want to serve. To do that, you are going to have to match what we call customer profile with value map to arrive at a value fit for that segment. So we're dealing with customer profile, right? And we say the customer profile describes the jobs that the customers you want to serve are trying to do. It also describes their pain and it describes their gains that they are seeking. Customer jobs are divided into four. You have four different types. You have functional jobs, you have social jobs, you have emotional or personal jobs, and finally, you have personal jobs. Supporting jobs rather. Now, supporting jobs refers to those things that customers are, are trying to do in the context of purchasing and consuming value. Understand this? The thing that's trying to do in the context of purchasing or consuming value, they call supporting just assuming you want to buy a smartphone and then you start looking for this exact store to visit. You want to know, do I buy this smartphone online or do I visit a shop and pick up the smartphone? And you could decide to do a search on the internet. You're searching this internet to get information to help you make your decision. That thing you are doing is called supporting job. So when I create a blog that provides advice and counsel about how to buy a smartphone, the things to look out for in good smartphones, I am framing my value around supporting jobs. You get it now? So my value proposition is around supporting jobs. So I say this is what supporting jobs, that which is the fourth type of customer job is. It deals with when cause when your customers are the things they do in the context of purchasing and consuming value, either as customers, as consumers, or as professionals. So these jobs arise from three different roles. And you have what you call the buyer of value. Now, who is a buyer of value? These are jobs that are related to buying value, such as comparing offers, just like I mentioned a while ago, comparing offers, all right, deciding which product to buy, all right. So, including standing on the checkout line. All of these are you're a buyer of value, all right? It's a supporting job. Now, why is this called supporting? See, you want to pick up this washing machine to enable you do laundry at home. The real job is doing laundry, but you're going to have to buy this. How do you buy? Order online? Go to a shop? How do you want it? All right. Try to make the decision. So you're not reading about washing machines. Which one should I buy? Should I buy Sony? Should I buy that? All right. So this thing you are doing is called a supporting job. It is supporting the functional job you want to do. Very important. Okay. And I say you have buyer of value. Then you also have co-creator of value. Now, all of these are under supporting jobs. You have buyer of value, you have co-creator of value. And these are jobs that are related to co-creating value with your organization. And that can include you're posting product review, right? So you understand, you visit the App Store, for example, and you download a particular app, and as you're using it, they ask you to give them a feedback or do a review in the App Store. That is a supporting job. You are being a co-creator of value, or you're writing a testimonial regarding a product you've used. That's a co-creator of value. It's a supporting job. So imagine that what you're now thinking is, how do I create a platform, for example, that will enable people to write an honest review about products they have used? All right. That is under supporting jobs. And finally, you have transfer of value. You borrow a car, you use the car, you are done with the car. What do you do with it? Dispose it, burn it, sell it off? What is the value? Second, this is what you're thinking about. It is the value proposition life cycle. All right. So you think, for example, canceling a subscription, right? So you're looking at your customer profiles in terms of these jobs that they do. That's what we call customer jobs. All right. You're looking at the things your customers trying to do, the segment you want to target, the things they're trying to do in terms of um, the jobs they're trying to do, right? And in their work or their personal life. And I say you've got four of them, four different types: functional jobs, social jobs, emotional or personal jobs, and then supporting jobs. Four of them, you want to make sure that you don't forget that. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to show you how that makes perfect sense in creating value, value proposition. Let's move forward. So, in thinking about customer jobs and making decision about your value proposition, you want to look at the importance of the jobs. All right. So it's important to acknowledge that not all jobs have the same importance to your customers. So you need to understand how important is this job to this customer. So you know how likely he is to respond to your offer. If the value proposition is not very strong, from the perspective of the buyer, of your customer, then if you frame a value around it, that may not be a market breaker for you. You understand that? Okay. So you have to rate them from a point of importance to insignificant. Some matter more to the customer's work life because failing to get them done could have serious ramification. Now imagine though your customer is trying to it's a designer and depends on a particular software to make designs. All right. And this software, has to be, you need to subscribe over a period and the subscription expires, right? If the customer does not renew the subscription, that's going to be a problem, especially if switching cost is high. Now, switching costs mean you want to get another software that's pretty high. if that is the case, the customer wouldn't have a choice than to renew the subscription. Otherwise, business will suffer. That will not be the same thing with a computer game that has lots of free substitutes. You see that? So you want to look at the importance of the jobs, how important they are or how insignificant they are. Sometimes a customer will deem a job crucial because it occurs frequently or because it will result in a desired or wanted outcome. So, bottom line, when it comes to customer jobs, you want to find out the level of importance they are to the customer. Because at the end of the day, that is the only way actually that you can frame a compelling value. If you are framing a value regarding a job the customer doesn't take very seriously, no matter how it's not going to be compelling, no matter how nice you say that your product is. You understand that? Now imagine that somebody, a segment of the population, does not care about business news, and you're creating a business magazine for them, and they don't really care about it. No matter how much and what you could say about the reliability of your information, that wouldn't make much sense. Why? Oh, that's very simple. The segment you are dealing with does not consider that something important. See how this works? This is how it works. So we need to always understand how how customers, how important a job is to a customer segment. Because if you don't do that, then you're gonna have a lot of problem. Okay. So this is about customer jobs, but that's not all. It's customer profile deals with not just customer jobs, it also deals with their pains and again their seeking. We've just dealt with one, right? So let's look at customer pains, right? All right, no. Pains describe anything that annoys your customers before, during, and after trying to get the job done. Customer pain describe anything that annoys your customers before, in the course of, or after getting the job done. This is very important. Or anything that simply prevents them from getting a job done. Pains also describe risk. There is a potential bad outcome related to getting a job done badly or not at all. Do you understand that? A pain is anything that tries to frustrate the customer. Sometimes even before he starts, some other times in the course of doing the job, some other times after he's got the job done. They are what you call customer pains. And you want to understand that because if you understand their pains, then you can address it. Now imagine, now I remember some many years ago, I had a TV program and we were working very hard. My team and I were working very hard then to get ready my video for the Saturday morning broadcast. And we had some hitches ready. And then eventually we got this whole thing put together. And I was with the team, we were working together trying to adapt this. Now, and the cost of, oh my goodness, I will never forget. And the cost of getting this job done was trying to create a video. We were using a particular software. When we were almost done, come on, the system shut down. We restarted the system and all of the job we did was gone. It was, I mean, we've been working and this was around probably 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. in the morning. And we needed to have this video on TV by, I think, around 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. And this is 4 a.m. Saturday morning. And we've been working all through the night. We were already tired. Everyone was already tired. Well, we were just happy that, we were almost, this was around 80% completed or thereabout. And suddenly, computer just shuts down. Restarted the computer, the whole thing was gone. Oh my God, that's a serious pain. You understand that? So that describes a serious pain. Nobody wants to experience that. So our I think the IT eventually found out that either the system was malfunctional or something. I can't place my hand on where it was, but that's a pain, right? So imagine you are able to frame a preposition around that that such will never be the experience. Okay, now think about it. If you are a salesperson and you're talking to us about a video editing software, and you make it clear that this video editing software, in the case that for whatever reason computer shuts down, all right, you will not, that the user is not going to lose anything because it saves automatically as you're working. Now imagine that there is a preposition that gets attention, that's compelling, especially for me who's already had an experience like that, where the labor of several hours was just wiped away because computer shut down for whatever reason it did. And the software couldn't recover all that we were doing, not even 1%. We were going to have to start afresh. That was eventually we couldn't put the tape on TV the following morning. We had to skip that Saturday. And that's painful because our viewers were waiting and we couldn't come on, talk to them. Bad impression, customer pain, right? So in understanding customer pain, you seek to identify three types of customer pains and how severe they are. So there are three types of customer pains. So what you want to understand is how severe they are or how moderate they could be. All right. So you find the first one is undesired outcomes, problems, and characteristics. So you're looking at pains are here are functional. For example, a solution doesn't work at all. Now imagine you signed for health insurance and when you needed the benefit, you couldn't get it. That the solution doesn't work. Now that's a pain. That's a pain. Okay. So it could also happen when something has, um, or maybe something doesn't work well. Now, notice I say it doesn't work at all, doesn't work well, or has a negative side effect. So imagine something has a negative side effect. Say it doesn't work at all, it doesn't work well. So imagine that to use this particular health insurance package, you have to spend a lot of time waiting to get approval or whatever. So you have to waste this time, something you could have just gotten. It doesn't work well the way you like it to work. Or a particular app on your phone doesn't just function the way it should function, right? Maybe it is ridden with adverts. You can't even do anything, all right? That can be a problem. So that's an undesired outcome, a problem, or a characteristic, all right? And you see, so you have things that are functional, and that's when it doesn't work at all, doesn't work well, or have side effects, all right? It can also, undesired outcomes can also be social. And in this case, you're looking at something like, I look bad doing this. I feel bad doing this. Oh, I remember a particular time, sometime, years ago, in the past, that I, I traveled and I got down and my ride couldn't show up. And I was forced to go talk with airport taxi. And this was in Nigeria, something that I really don't like, you know. And so I found myself having to start having this conversation. So how much is it gonna be? So this is where I'm gonna pay. It's something I don't like at all. But I was doing that, and I kept telling to myself, I can't imagine myself doing this. I can't. So emotionally, socially, I was just, you know, I just felt that this shouldn't be me. Why will I have to stand here? I'm supposed to have all of this, sorted out. But that wasn't the case. So, Socially, I didn't like it. That was a social pain, right? You also have emotional, say, so undesired outcomes and problems and characteristics can be functional, social, it can also be emotional. And emotional has to do with how you feel, all right? How you feel. So someone could say, this is completely annoying. I just feel terrible wearing this clothes. All right. I'm feeling lousy today talking with that man. You see, I felt like I wasted my time today. Why would it have to take me 25 minutes just to check out for this few stuff that I purchased today? I feel bad about this. So this time it is emotional. So when you're saying it's annoying, that's emotional. All right. So you understand there is also what you call ancillary, and that's when um, you say, for example, I feel bad going to that store to pick up something. Now, so this is what you call undesirable elements or outcomes or problems or characteristics, and they are part of customer pains. Remember, we're dealing with customer pains, right? And secondly, another type of customer pain is obstacles. And in obstacles, you are looking at the things that prevent your customers from even getting started with a job or slow them down. For example, so I could say, well, I like the solution, but I can't afford it. It's too expensive. He's not even able to start. Okay? How did IKEA intervene in the furniture industry? There are people who want a good furniture, but they can afford to pay for it. So what did they do? They thought we could offer them good furniture at a low price. But to do that, right, we have to, of course, unbundle the value chain. We have to also visit people's homes and talk to them. We have to also make sure that we keep our costs completely down. We waste nothing. All of this, see, this way we can keep our costs low and pass it over to our customers because costs will not even let them start at all to enjoying good furniture. See that? So in this case, that's what you call obstacles. Obstacles. It might also be technical knowledge. See, existing products could be too complicated. People have to need an expert. Needing an expert means they're gonna have to spend more. All right. Now, can you create a simpler solution? Or can you afford to be the expert, to hire the expert for them, to provide the expert service that has to install the solution for them? All right? Because you see, because of technical difficulties, they cannot even get started using this product. So you see, this is another perspective in dealing with stuff. So that's customer pain. You have obstacles, all right? Then you have the one you call risk. So you identify undesired outcomes, problems, and characteristics. We have obstacles, and then we have risk. In risk, you are looking at what could go wrong and have important negative consequences. All right, in the course of using a product. Okay, so you imagine somebody, all right, who um, is thinking about losing credibility, all right, or somebody is thinking about losing his job if he agrees with your proposition. Okay, so that's a risk of a risky situation, and that's a pain. See, we have an existing supplier, and there is no justification for buying from you. We can buy from you because we have an existing supplier. All right, and that's a problem. It's a risk. We can afford to take it. So that's a pain. Okay. So how do you deal with pain? You deal with severity of the pain. A customer pain can be extreme or moderate, just like jobs. So the key here in dealing with customer pain, because now notice you are profiling the customer. That's what you're doing. After profiling the customer, you do what is called value map. When you add the value map to the customer profile, you have a value fit. A value fit is compelling. Customers can say no because it's a solution made for them. All they need to do is to hear about it. When they hear about it, they respond. You understand that? Now this is how it works. Whoever your customer is, if you're someone seeking a job, for example, you realize who your customer is. Your customers are the employees you're going to be talking to. If you're someone seeking investment, then you realize your customer are the investors you want to be talking to. So you want to look at them from this perspective. Customer jobs. What job is the investor trying to do with his money? Right? What jobs are the companies trying to problems are the company jobs are the company trying to do? All right, trying to be able to make designs. Is a publishing company. They're going to have to make designs. And the issue is that graphic artists, for example, are not reliable. So I'm going to include in my CV that I'm a graphic artist that can be trusted. I'm going to demonstrate that by letting them know about the places I have worked before and how much my company could afford to depend on me. You see? So that's trying to address um, the customer pains, right? Okay. So what we do is to make pains concrete. What do I mean by making pain concrete? It is to clearly differentiate, say, to clearly differentiate jobs, pains, and gains. You need to describe them as concretely as possible. For example, when a customer says waiting in line was a waste of time, you ask them, how many minutes do you have to wait to feel that your time is wasted? See, waiting in line is a waste of time. After how many minutes do you begin to feel that it was a waste of time? If you don't know that, you can you can create a different solution because you don't even know what waste of time meant. You were not in his mind. Maybe for one customer, it could be 5 minutes. For the other person, it could be 10 minutes. For the other person, it could be 15 minutes. Who knows? So you want to make it concrete, specific. All right? Waiting in line, of course, that's a pain. That's a pain. So waiting in line is a waste of time. And, that could be a social pain. Waiting in line is a waste of time. How many minutes does it take for you for this to become a pain for you, to become a waste of your time? And so you're able to get a very specific answer. That way, you can note that waiting for 5 minutes is a waste of time. So you now want to frame your proposition, design your solution in a way that they won't have to wait in line for 5 minutes. That's how you approach it. So you want to make pains and gains and the jobs concrete. You want to do that. Okay. So when you understand how exactly customers measure pain severity, you can design better pain relievers. See, the purpose of trying to determine their pains is so you can design better pain relievers. You can relieve them of those pains because by relieving them of those pains, then you can have they'll buy from you. It's that simple. You don't have to struggle to get things done. So I'm going to give you a list of questions that can help you. Just a couple of points. I will advise you to go to brianrevent.com and you'll be able to go to the resource page on brianrevent.com. The address is right on the screen. And that's way you can download or complete um, the, the value proposition assessment that will help you assess the value you're currently offering and then show you how you can actually improve it. It is completely free of charge. You pay nothing. We're just trying to help you. All right. So our thing is to offer you as much value as we can. We have different categories of things we can do for you. This is one of them. I'm asking you right now to go to brandrevenge.com and do an assessment of your value proposition. That is something else we can do for you. Of course, we have paid services, and when you go to brandrevenge.com, you might become interested in one of them, and you hit us an email or do call us, and we'll be glad to help you. But for a start, go to brandrevenge.com and do an assessment of your value. Okay, so I have this list of questions which can actually help you differentiate potential customer pain. Just give you a couple of them. For example, you say, how you ask yourself, how do your customers define too costly? You see, if someone says, well, the computer is nice, yours is too expensive, what makes you describe this as too expensive? All right. Is it that it takes a lot of time? Is it that it costs too much money or requires ongoing subscription? All right. So you can think of a different way to offer the product. It can be a one-off payment. Maybe. Ours is a one-off payment. You pay a little more. But at the end of the day, you're not going to be seeing. If you buy the other solution, this is what you end up paying because of the ongoing subscription, ongoing renewal for the service. Ours is once. You see, that can get attention. So you want to find out, how do they describe costly, for example? And you can also ask, what makes your customers feel bad? What are their frustrations, annoyances, anger? What are the things that trouble them? So you ask yourself these questions, and you should be asking yourself those questions right now. So you can also ask yourself, what risk do your customers actually experience? You can ask yourself also, what common mistakes do your customers make? Are they using the solution in a wrong way? So that's where you can understand their frustration. If they are using the solution in the wrong way, that means you may need to intervene by providing education. You see that? Okay. If the solution takes a lot of time to work, you may want to address that challenge. But see, this is what defines your value. All right. You create a value that is, people can actually be very happy about. So let's quickly deal with customer gains. And you see, gains describe the outcomes and benefits your customers want. The outcomes and benefits your customers want, that's what you call gains. And some gains are required, some are expected, some are desired, and some are a surprise to them. So you have the expected gains. For example, if you buy a smartphone, the smartphone should be able to make a call. That's expected. That's expected. It's expected or required. See, that's required rather. The smartphone should be able to make a call. That's required. You have required, expected, and desired, and unexpected gains. All right. So in required gains, a smartphone should be able to make a call. A hotel should be able to give you a bed to sleep on, no matter whether it is low cost or premium. They should provide basic services, which means provide a bed, clean the room. That's basic. Okay. And of course, provide a cooling or heating system, as the case may be. Those should be basic, right? Now, a restaurant should be able to provide healthy food. That's basic. That's basic. So you have expected gains. In other words, these are relatively basic. We expect them from a solution, even if we could work without them. All right? So, for example, you expect a smartphone to look nice. You expect a smartphone to be um, to look slick and fine, right? That's expected. But that's not all. You also have desired gains, and these are gains that go beyond what we expect from a solution. We would love to have them if we could. We want the phone to have a good camera, right? So these are usually gains that customers will come up with if you ask them, right? So for example, you want to be able to start working on your laptop and finish up working on your smartphone and complete it on your laptop or your tablet. That is desired. People can do without them, but they're happy to have it. You understand that? Then you have unexpected. These are gains that come as a surprise. They come as a surprise. All right. Now, before Apple, for example, introduced the iPhone, nobody was looking for phones in that way. Nobody was thinking of, all of the what's the iPhone look like. So it was a surprise. It was unexpected when it showed up. They took a great leap to make the iPhone. Now, as it is in pen severity, you have gain relevance, whether it's essential or nice to have. So the customer gain can feel essential or nice to have. So you want to find out um, it is expected, it is basic, all right? A basic gain, for example, like a hotel or a phone being able to make a call, you can't make a sale on that. You can't tell somebody, look, if you buy this phone, you'll be able to make a call with it. Come on, I'm supposed to make a call with a phone. If you come to our hotel, we'll give you a place to sleep. That's what hotels do. That's not compelling, it's dry. All right. So you can make a proposition around expected around a required gain, really. And you can hardly make a proposition around expected gain because expected gains are relatively required, right? You can't tell us our our phones look beautiful. Every phone is expected to look beautiful. Come on. Say we clean our rooms every day in a hotel. Aren't you supposed to clean it? I expect that you do that. You understand? So you have desired gains too. Now desire are things I would like to have. So you provide two towels in this low cost hotel, right? That's nice. You're providing Wi-Fi. Well, Wi-Fi. I don't even know. Should I place Wi-Fi in expected or desire? Okay, so you understand what I'm talking about. So these are gains that could be what we expect from a solution. All right, what we expect, and we would like to have them. And then you have unexpected. You have to find out the solution you're trying to create. Where does it belong? As with pains, also, it's very good to make gains concrete as possible, and to clearly differentiate your jobs, pains, and gains from one another. And if you're able to do that, then you get customers' attention. I'll give you a couple of questions that can guide your thinking, right, about, excuse me, creating customer gains. For example, which savings would make your customers happy, right? How do you make your customers happy? How do you want to save them money? Subscription or what? What could make your customers' jobs or lives easier? How can you make the solution better? How can you reduce costs for them? What would increase your customers' likelihood of adopting a value proposition? Do they desire lower costs, less investment, lower risk, or better quality? You need to find out what are customers looking to benefit? What do they want? Now, these are a list of questions that could help you. You want more? I'll ask you to go to brianrubin.com or send an email to admin@brianrubin.com. If you do that, we're going to get back to you and help you get the value proposition assessment form. That way, you are able to review all that you are doing and determine exactly how to improve. All right. Now, although individual customer preferences vary, you need to get a sense of customer priorities. Investigate which jobs the customers, the majority of your customers consider important or insignificant. Find out which pains they find extreme versus merely moderate. Find out what they can tolerate, right? You want to focus on addressing things that really matter to your customers and find out the gains they really seek, all right? And the thing they would like to have, the gains that are essential, gains that are required. You have to make sure that you're able to provide those. Now, this is how to look at customer profile, all right? And in the next in our next session, we'll deal with value map. And by the time we're done with value map, you should be able to create a compelling value, a value fit. for a particular segment. So it's been nice, talking with you. I'm so delighted that you were able to join me. And remember to check out all of the other videos that we have on this platform. That way, you're able um, to understand how we have been progressing. This we've been dealing with as the starting point of our business success. If you miss this, you're gonna have a problem because you see, business is both simple and complex. All right. People who don't understand how to create value think that it is all about money. Money is important, but if you don't have the required knowledge, you find out you spend money on things you shouldn't and you lose the money. All right? You lose the money, you never get it back. So it's important that you take this very seriously. I want to thank you for joining me, and I'm going to see you again very, very soon. Bye for now.